The title of my speech is called Quiet Strength. My first job interview after college started pretty typically. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what qualifies you for this position, you know the drill. Having little interview experience at the time and not really feeling comfortable bragging about myself, I struggled to answer a lot of their questions. But then they asked an easier one. What would you consider to be your greatest weakness? And without hesitation, I responded, well, I'm an introvert. When I got home from my job interview that day, I did what I imagine most introverts do when they get home from a job interview. Binged on Netflix and overanalyzed every single answer to every single interview question, wondering how I could have responded better. And as I did that, one answer in particular really bothered me. If I had just told a potential employer that my greatest weakness was being an introvert, had I just told them that my greatest weakness was simply being who I am? Ever since that interview, I've made it a point to never refer to introversion as a weakness, because it's not. And instead, to focus on all of the positive qualities introversion has instilled in me. Like empathy, for example. For as long as I can remember, I have been filled to the brim with empathy. So when someone's going through a painful experience, I don't just feel sorry for that person. I often genuinely take on the emotions that they're feeling as if they were my own. To this day, it's why I can't visit the For Love of Dog Facebook page anymore. I love dogs. I just recognize that I probably shouldn't own 500 of them. It's also why I have a tendency to turn a 10-minute conversation into a 2-hour one. And it's why my friends are fewer in number, but we're incredibly close. But introversion has done more than just make me a giant softie. It's also made me a very careful decision maker. I can't make any decisions without some serious planning beforehand. In other words, you probably don't want to ask me where I want to go for lunch. Whether I'm just deciding what I want to wear in the morning, debating whether I should apply for a women's leadership program, or making some other major life decision. It's only after very careful thought and consideration, so I can be confident in moving forward. That being said, I'm more than just a slow decision maker who gets emotional about everything. As the stereotype would have it, introversion also makes me quiet. And you might be thinking, Steph, you're supposed to be focusing on your positive qualities. I am. You see, the positive thing about being quiet is it forces me to make my words have meaning. Look, I'll probably never be the loudest person in a room, unless it's a really, really quiet room. But when I do speak up, it will be because I have something worth saying. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand that extroverts have many of these qualities as well, and not a day goes by where I don't envy my extroverted friends and colleagues for their ability to be energized by social interaction, the same way I'm energized by my time alone. But this is who I am. These are the cards I was dealt. And the more I think about it, it's a pretty good hand. Because on the first day of 35 under 35, this nervous introvert sat in a room with 34 plus other women she didn't know yet and learned that true leaders focus on their strengths, not their weaknesses. So I don't know exactly what I'll answer the next time I'm asked what my greatest weakness is. Saying no to junk food, probably. But that answer's about as irrelevant as the question. When I'm asked about my greatest strength, on the other hand, that I can do. I'm an achiever, a learner, a relator, and among other things, I am an introvert. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Authenticity can be derived from reflecting on defining moments and experiences that have shaped you to be the authentic leader that you are today. Taking risks and having the courage to share your story in hopes to help others creates a catalyst to change the perceptions of others around you. Please join me in welcoming Ashley Martidam from Great North Insurance.